Hermes Birkin that sold for 3 times retail in 2022 is now trading at or barely above retail in some markets. Did the Birkin as investment story just die? And what about Rolex? Are those waiting list treasures still cash machines, or did the bubble finally pop? In the next 12 minutes, I'll dismantle the hype, follow the money, and give you a repeatable checklist to decide whether to buy, hold, or sell luxury handbags and watches in 2026. From late 2024 through January 2026, the secondary market for luxury goods shifted from broad-based parabolic gains to something much more differentiated. Headline-grabbing sales kept appearing, but the average premium on everyday Birkin sizes and common Rolex references softened. This is for educational purposes only, not financial, legal, or investment advice. Always do your own research and consult a qualified advisor before treating luxury goods as investments. Between 2021 and 2022, the luxury secondary market looked like a super cycle. Many models massively outperformed retail, liquidity expanded, and speculators piled in. By late 2024 into 2025, the story changed. Brand-level metrics still favor Hermes and Rolex over most competitors, but premiums compressed from the 2022 peaks. Platform reports through late 2025 show Hermes retaining above 100% value on average. Yes, still above retail, but many individual models dropped from the dizzying 2021-2022 highs. Rolex kept certain references strong, especially vintage Submariners and selective Daytonas, but mass-market Datejust and Oyster Perpetual references showed more mixed outcomes. Here's the counterintuitive bit. Headline auctions continued to smash records. Museum pieces, celebrity provenance Birkins, and rare exotic skins still sold for eye-popping sums. But those sales are outliers, not the mass market. Think of marquee auctions as isolated supernovas next to a calmer galaxy. The everyday market is where most buyers and sellers transact, and in that space, prices are more muted. Hermes took a disciplined approach. In January 2025, the Maison implemented another set of price increases on core Birkin and Kelly models, commonly 4 to 7%, and kept selective hikes into early 2026. When retail goes up, replacement cost theory helps justify higher resale. But higher retail doesn't guarantee increasing premiums. If new bags are only modestly more expensive, buyers start asking why they should buy used. Rolex continued tight supply and allocation discipline, but the effect varies dramatically by reference. Scarce, iconic models remain short in supply and thus carry premiums. More common steel sport references lost some speculative shine as buyer cohorts shifted and liquidity increased online. Imagine a Venn diagram with 3 circles: retail price increases, platform liquidity, and buyer cohort changes. Where they overlap, you'll find the new price action. Where they don't, you find surprises. Resale indices and platform reports in late 2025 show Hermes and Rolex still leading value retention, but with wider dispersion across models. Several platform summaries highlighted Hermes reclaiming top spot for bag resale value retention. Many hyper-speculative premiums from 2021-2022 shrank. Some Birkin and Kelly premiums moved from historical 2 to 3 times retail ranges to closer to 1.1 to 1.5 times in many categories. On the watch side, certain vintage references, specific Submariner variants, and select Daytonas continued to command solid premiums, while the average premium for commonly traded steel sport watches narrowed. Higher online turnover in 2024 and 2025 improved liquidity, but it also made supply more visible. That visibility can lower scarcity premiums. If everyone can monetize a piece overnight, does scarcity still hold the same power? The short answer is not as much. Macro factors matter. Accumulated retail price inflation since 2019, plus Hermes's 2025 price hikes, raised the base cost of entry. Real wages and discretionary spending slowed in parts of 2025, especially among younger cohorts and in some Asian markets. Tariffs and import costs are part of the story, though attribution is nuanced. Brand list, prices, and currency moves also play big roles. Gen Z demand cooled in late 2025. Reporting suggests aspirational consumption patterns changed. Younger buyers are more sustainability minded and less driven by conspicuous purchases for social signaling. That reduced some speculative demand that fed the 2021-2022 run-up. Picture a faucet controlling demand. In 2021 and 2022, it was turned wide open. In 2024 and 2025, it was throttled back. More faucet control equals slower price inflation. Technology and marketplaces changed the game too. Authentication tech and online platforms improved dramatically. Condition grading, provenance checks, and in some cases blockchain-based tags reduced buyer friction and fraud risk. That's good for the market overall, but there's a trade-off. Better tech and faster listing times mean more supply shows up quickly, which can reduce scarcity premiums for widely available models. You don't have to hunt for a Birkin anymore. You can find dozens of near identical listings across platforms. When that happens, competition drives down prices. Unique provenance-driven pieces remain insulated because they still benefit from opacity and rarity. Would you pay twice retail if 3 similar options are a click away? Probably not. Winners in this market are rare exotics, museum-quality pieces, and celebrity provenance items. On the watch side, certain vintage Daytonas and Submariner variants with specific references and dial combinations continue to hold or gain value. Limited run and historically significant models are still where outsized returns live. Losers are common configurations and overproduced limited editions. Standard-sized Birkins in common leathers and colors, where supply increased on platforms, saw compressed premiums. For watches, standard Datejusts and some newer Oyster Perpetual references experienced softer demand and smaller spreads between retail and resale. What does that mean for an individual deciding whether to buy a Birkin or a Rolex now? There's a practical checklist you can use in minutes. First, vet the model. Is this a historically resilient model or a fashion piece tied to short trends? Historical auction and market data help. Second, look for scarcity signals. Are supply listings rare across major platforms or abundant? Check sell-through rates and days on market. Third, compare retail versus resale. Has retail price moved enough to justify buying at current resale levels? Calculate replacement cost. Fourth, factor in fees and taxes. Add platform fees, buyer premiums, shipping, duties, restoration, and a time to sale buffer. Fifth, confirm provenance and condition. Do you have receipts, serial numbers, and high quality photos? Can you authenticate independently? Sixth, plan for liquidity. How quickly do you need to exit? And is there a clear buyer cohort? Seventh, run a macro check. Are consumer indicators and buyer cohorts for this category stable or weakening? If you can tick most boxes positively and your time horizon is multi-year, the asset can act as a store of value. If you're looking for quick flips, the market is riskier now than during the 2021-2022 run-up. Don't forget the costs that kill returns. Transaction costs are often overlooked. Platform and consignment fees, auction house commissions, buyer premiums, shipping, import duties, sales tax, restoration, storage, and time to sale are all real. Platforms often charge listing or consignment fees. Auction houses take sizable commissions. Buyers pay premiums at sale. Add restoration, professional photography, and secure storage, and a 20% paper premium can vanish. Many retail buyers who expect to flip within a year underestimate these costs and the liquidity risk. If you need to sell quickly, expect to pay for speed. For investigators and serious collectors, paper trails matter. Provenance, original receipts, export paperwork, factory stamps, and consistent serial numbers are keys. Shipping traces and platform forensics, timestamps, seller history, cross-listings often reveal whether an item was sourced legitimately or via gray market channels. Authentication tech helps, but even the best tools can be fooled by exceptional forgeries. Human expertise still matters. Always ask for original paperwork, photos of serial and production codes, clear condition reports, and, if possible, a third-party grading or authentication before moving large sums. Quick recap. Hermes and Rolex still lead resale value retention on average in 2025 and early 2026, but the market is far more nuanced.